What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Headspace podcast, part 2 of the Tee Grizzley's new album, The Smartest. Again, this is part 2 of the Headspace podcast, reviewing Tee Grizzley's new project, The Smartest. I'm your host, Chris Chrome. Hope everybody's doing well. Just to give you a little bit of advice, I apologize for the attire. It is super, super hot in my room, and I literally just woke up and went back to reviewing and got this as quickly as possible so I can give you guys part 2 as soon as possible so you guys can get the final grade and we can have that final discussion. So don't mind the wife beater tank top thing. It's just really hot as I drink water. Anyway, you're not here to talk about that. You are here to talk about the part 2 of Tee Grizzley's new project, The Smartest. I've already done part 1. It should be in the link down below. If you guys are watching part 1, then you could probably click on this video because there's probably going to be a link by the time this is out. So you'll be able to catch up and figure out where it exactly is. But I'm going to do a little bit quick of a recap. I've already gone through tracks 1 through 8. There is 17 tracks on this project. I've done 1 through 8 already on part 1. I've given my thoughts and opinions on some of the songs. So far, I'm loving what we're getting. I am really inspired by Tee Grizzley. I really appreciate how he flows through and has these different types of just vocal capabilities and just these expressions and just the emotions that he brings to the table, as well as being just really boss mentality and super gangster. It is super, super dope. I really do appreciate it so much. For any of you who are clicking on this video as a first time, this is my first actual full review of a Tee Grizzley project. I know who Tee Grizzley is, just to give you guys some context on where I'm coming from so you can understand my points and thoughts of the project. I've never reviewed an album, so a lot of this is all new to me. I do know he's from Detroit. I do know that he lost his aunt, who was also his manager. Rest in peace, Jobina Brown, if I'm not mistaken. So I do know about that drive-by shooting that happened. Tee Grizzley is a name that, friends of mine have listened to, and I just never really delve into any of his projects fully. Given that we do the reviews, it kind of gives me an excuse to look at some artists that I've never really, paid attention to or really listened to, but I want to get to know and, dive into their music and figure it out. So, especially with things that are going on right now, I felt like The Smartest seemed to be something that, really kind of struck out to me in terms of the album title, the picture of the album cover. Again, a lot of this is all done in part 1, so go please check that out if you want me to break that down, but I'm doing a little quick recap for you guys now. The album cover is pretty cool. I like the cartoony look. I like how there's some cartoons in here that are part of my upbringing, part of shows that I watched as a kid. There's clearly a lean cup with some purple syrup in there, so there's going to be some drug talk, I would assume. The JB stands for Jobina, which is his aunt, his manager, so he really heavily reps that, and that's the big inspiration to him as well for this is too. And I really appreciate it. I like the cartoony look. A lot of artists are using this so far, as I've noticed, and I just really greatly appreciate the way that we're changing album covers. I still like some of the real abstract artistic album covers too, but it's cool to see because he's also born in 1994, which is a year after me. I'm 26, he'd be 25 technically. And just the way that I kind of look at Tee Grizzley, I'm like, yo, we're the same age basically, and we come from 2 different walks of life. So a lot of this project is me kind of just, I feel like I'm having a conversation with somebody in my generation, but I'm not talking. I'm just listening. I'm trying to translate and break down what I understand to you guys, but I clearly know that a lot of you guys have probably listened and followed Tee Grizzley a lot longer than me, so please keep that in mind while I'm doing the review. With all of that, I'm just going to kind of jump into it. I do have tracks 9 to 17 left. There's about really 9 tracks left, so we're just going to jump into it, and at the end of it, I'm going to give you my my final grade and talk about some other things a little bit there. Before I do jump into it, I do want to say thank you so much to the Patreons, Linda Williams, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, Ismail Gadamsi, DJ Black Hurricane, Scribble, and Carl J. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for us. Greatly appreciate you being part of the community. Greatly appreciate you guys being part of our Patreon requests. They force our hands into what albums they want to do. But you know what? I'll talk about that a little more at the end of the video. So if you want to, you can skip to the end, or you can watch the whole video and let me know. In the time description down below, you'll be able to find timestamps of certain songs you want to discuss about, and you don't have to listen to me talk the whole entire time. But yeah, all that being said, once again, this is part 2 of the Headspace review of Tee Grizzley's new project, The Smartest. The next track following, last track on part 1 was Picture of My City. It was a pretty good song. I'm actually going to start with that. It was a pretty good song following up the 8 tracks that I listened to. I felt like Tee Grizzley really did a great job at expressing, kind of like in a story way, expressing kind of where he comes from and what he had kind of had to do to survive a little bit, but at the same time also giving you a very vivid picture of just like, boom, like this is my city, this is what I lived through, this is where we look. Like you really can kind of picture and envision a lot of the buildings and a lot of just him walking out of the club and just the kind of way he looks and the kind of way he dressed. He's very, very good at storytelling, so I did appreciate that a lot from Tee Grizzley. But following that track, we have track 9, start of part 2, which is, and again, this is part 2 for the review, not for the album. This song is called COVID, featuring Lil Baby. So I want to start off by saying that this song is really, really hype. Like, just in the way that I'm reviewing it, and because this is part 2, it's kind of like, this is a good way to get back into the project. Waking up and just listening to this song, I was just like, yo, this is something you can kind of relate to a little bit. Just the fact that they're talking about COVID, the fact that they're talking about being on a lockdown, the fact that, you know, Tee Grizzley's addressing just kind of how he's dealing with the whole lockdown and stuff. Now, for him, he seems to be having some fun, right? So he starts off the chorus with, whole world on lockdown, shit like a movie. Do I prefer this over jail? Homie, absolutely. I've been quarantined playing Call of Duty. I've been getting pussy playing Call of Duty. So clearly he's just like really kind of taking the time, it seems to be just enjoying himself and really just catch up on some things of leisure time, because clearly we can't really go anywhere because of quarantine, so it's like we're all just trapped, right? So I do appreciate just the real relatability of it, which is super cool. And then the post-chorus comes in. My homie Block just bought a rollie. He can't even go nowhere. Humifiers going, you know that shit in the air. I don't know whose city worse right now, but say a prayer. 700 people died in one day, man, say a prayer. Now, I like how he's just really raw about that and really just real. Like, yo, I understand that my homie went and bought a rollie, but I feel like he's addressing it kind of like, not because he's trying to stunt or nothing, but it's because they're trying to deal with this quarantine. They still want to feel like they can be, you know, presentable. They still want to feel like they can do what they want to do. Plus, these people got a lot of money as well. Like, there's certain people that I guess Tee Grizzley are talking about. It's really crazy just how certain people deal with that quarantine. That's kind of how I got it. I kind of took it. Humidifiers going, you know that shit in the air. Clearly he's smoking some weed and he's enjoying himself, or maybe he's smoking cigarettes because he does mention nicotine, and I watched a video and he smoked cigarettes, so like maybe he's just kind of clearing the air with that. I don't know whose city's worse right now, but say a prayer. Now that's absolutely true. I feel like he's trying to just address, like, it doesn't really matter whose city's worse. It should really just all be, we are together as one. 700 people died in one day, man, say a prayer. Like, that's a lot of people. Like, given no matter how many it is, one death is still too much. Given 700 people died, like, that's a lot, especially from a deadly virus. That's especially from something that, you know, I kind of listen to this and I kind of just feel like Tee Grizzley in a way is expressing like, yo, we need to take more care of ourselves, right? So verse 1, they say that he kill it, how the fuck they know? What about the places that's always cold, like Alaska? And I was like, that's interesting. Like, I even thought that too when you know, Donald Trump said that the heat, and I don't want to fucking quote anything, but there was murmurs about the heat being something that's going to kill the virus. Generally, it's like, you know, in the regular flu season or whatnot, when summer comes, you do feel a little better. It does kind of kill a lot of viruses, but I've also gotten sick. Me personally, I've gotten sick in the summer, and I've gotten sick in the winter and all year round. So, like, that's not actually true. It's maybe a thing, but I don't believe it's true. I'm not scientifically known with like viruses and stuff, so I ain't gonna talk more about that. But the point is that I like how he's just addressing, like, they're saying certain shit, but it's not fact, because there's some places that are always cold. What about them? Are they gonna be okay? How are we gonna survive that? Are we gonna have to change some shit? So that was really cool, something that I did enjoy. They give in checks to people that can't work and stay at home. What about the artists that can't do shows? I like how he's addressing, you know, people who can't work, but then there's also people who are still doing shows. But my thing to Tee Grizzley, I would be like, I mean, you could do shows online. I don't really know like what the money difference would be or what the income stream would be, but like, it's still something that you could be doing. And I'm not trying to discredit what Tee Grizzley is saying. Honestly, like, I do agree with what he's saying as well. It's like, we can't do shows, we can't be in public. Me as an artist myself, you can't be out there, you know, interacting with the public and really mingling with people and trying to get that respect of your city or the city that you're going to or whatnot. You can't even tour and make that type of money. So that also does pay, like, that also does put a strain on that capability. So I do understand that is pretty raw. That's pretty real as well. Now, you go back into the chorus, whole world on lockdown, shit like a movie. Do I prefer this over jail? Homie, absolutely. Fair enough. Like, I get, you know, I guess in jail you can't play Call of Duty or get pussy, right? So that's a thing. So then we get to verse 2, which is Lil Baby. And I don't want to, like, I really don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I don't like the verse and blah, blah, blah. I feel like Lil Baby kind of phoned this in and didn't really, like, anybody could have really said this verse. I don't see, and I know that Lil Baby is really dope. Like, he just made that song with the Black Lives Matter movement thing there, the whole, again, I can't remember it right now and I apologize, but there is that, like, big song that he just came out with about like the bigger picture and everything like that. So I know Lil Baby's got like some shit to say and he's got some things. Now maybe this is just because it is a feature and it's not really like his album, so he just kind of gave a verse. But like, sell 100 bags, sell 100 bags, another 100 bags, another 100 bags, 3,000 a bag, this 1.2 cash. I can't play the side and be the coach or be the point two. I'll be scoring, chilling with my kids. I ain't even thought about touring. It's like, I feel like compared to Tee Grizzley kind of like made it more about the coronavirus and really more about like just, I don't know, kind of how he's dealing with this whole lockdown situation. I felt like Lil Baby just, in a way, I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I really did enjoy Lil Baby's verse, actually. Like, the way he presented it and the way he was hype about it was super cool. His voice is really dope. But, like, just the verse itself, I felt like anybody could have really said it, and it could have just been any other rapper as well. I don't really know what really stood out compared to Tee Grizzley, but it was still dope. That's really all I want to say about it. It wasn't bad. Like, every day we lit and never getting boring. It never getting boring. I apologize. How you go from stolen cars to hopping out of foreigns. Off-White Jordans just go record it, just to go record it. It's like, yeah, you're giving us the luxury brands and stuff like that, but I don't really know how this really deals with COVID-19 or even the quarantine. It just kind of seems like you're still kind of living your everyday life. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe that's like, the idea is like, even on a lockdown, we're still doing that everyday thing. I don't know. Tee Grizzley comes in because the whole world on lockdown, shit like a movie. Do I prefer this over jail? Homie, absolutely. I've been quarantined playing Call of Duty. I've been getting pussy playing Call of Duty. You know, so the chorus is still pretty solid. I did enjoy it. It does give you this hype, this bop to it, and you're like, hey, okay, I'll feel you. And then he comes in with verse 3. So M13 monolithic will knock your soul out. In real life, I got the same shit as my loadout. Homies want a handshake, I can't touch them. Trump got $1 billion, tell him don't forget about Lil Bro Num. So I like how he's addressing, like, first off, because he connects with the Call of Duty line, so that's pretty cool. He's really saying, like, don't fuck with me, I got guns to not play around with, so that was something dope. homies want a handshake, I can't touch them. Right now we're not handshaking because of the quarantine and everything like that. But also it's like, he's kind of saying like, I don't even want to deal with them, even on a business front or on a standard. So I like how he's connecting a lot of these things with like the rules of COVID. That was pretty cool. Trump got $1 billion. Tell him don't forget about Lil Bronum. Don't forget about the people who be living check to check. Say a prayer for those ones that is need, but they got debt. So I like how, again, he's addressing like, it could just be anybody. I feel like he's probably predominantly talking about people in his area and his environment, stuff like that, but it could be anybody who can really relate to this right now. And I like how there's like this global universal aspect to this song. That was super cool. Then we get the chorus again, post-chorus, about how his homies got the rollie, and then we got the outro where he's basically like, whole world on lockdown, shit like a movie. I've been getting pussy playing Call of Duty. I've been in quarantine playing Call of Duty. The song itself really flows nicely, and there's this nice energy to it. The only thing I didn't like was really just the Lil Baby verse. It's not to hate or anything. It was just, I don't know, it just maybe wasn't for me in terms of artistic, like just as an artist, it wasn't for me. But Lil Baby still got some flow, he still got flair, and I do appreciate it. It just wasn't for me, really. But I did land this song at a 4.2 on 5. I thought it was super dope. And the next track is called Timeless. So the thing I like about Timeless is that overall, the track itself is timeless. I feel like it's got every aspect of just energy and just hypeness to it. The flow is like, okay, so I want to say generic, but I don't want to say generic because he's not generic. He's not like everyone else. The way he raps and presents his flows are really, really super cool. It's just the overall like kind of messaging to this song kind of to me feels like it's just very just hype. So like, for example, the chorus in this so in this bitch we hit boy, the shit we making timeless. Send a hit boy, somebody gonna be unresponsive. Them hitters do just what I tell them. Grizzly Simon, which I thought was super cool. Like Simon Says, Grizzly Simon. I thought that was super interesting. I thought that was funny. Can't let nobody take the set, we like Lyman. I drop a bag on my runner, then I time it. So it's like the way, like what he's saying is valid, absolutely 100% credible. Like I don't not believe that he doesn't do the things that he says, and like a lot of it is super real and authentic. But it's like there, to me, from what we've already gotten from the album already, it's like a lot of this just doesn't really seem like a lot different. We've gotten some crazy messages. We got some in-depth thought thinking at some points. But this really just kind of feels very fluffy. But in the aspect of being timeless is like you could put this on any genre, any party, any time of the day, any year, and this will still be bumping, I believe. And I think that's part of the song. When I fly to, so like verse 1, when I fly to Detroit, then I go to something, my homie. If I say I love it, that's what I'm going to die about. If I say I love it, that's what I'm gonna die about. I ain't fly a little hoe out, she used her sky miles. Had to kick the lean, then shit fucked up my bowels. So I like how he's addressing that, like I had to stop taking lean. So he's kind of like telling people like, yo, this shit really fucks you up, like you shouldn't be taking it. So I did appreciate that. Real homies ain't gotta say they real homies, which is true. If you're real, you just gotta act your part and do your role. It's like people who are winning don't have to brag about it, they just let their succession show. Ain't got no cleats, but I'm still in the field with it. Don't like me, you gotta kill me or deal with it. So far I'm like, a lot of what he's saying is, you know, authentic to him and I guess credible to him, but it doesn't really stand out any different compared to, I guess, other rappers. And I'm not trying to hate on this song, it's just I like the idea that this seems to be just a timeless song. Like this can be put on at any time, at any way, and you're just in that vibe, in that mode. And I think that that's what really this song is about. I got heart, but bitch, I'm heartless at the same time. If you get paid for telling the truth, we got the same grind. Think about the people's every day. We got the same mind. Deal with their problems and my problems at the same time. So he really does show that he's like there for the community, there for his people, there for supporting, I guess, loved ones or whatnot. But like, Still, in this bitch, we hit boy, we make this, we making timeless, send a hit boy, somebody got to be unresponsive, them hitters do just what I tell them, Grizzly Simon. So it's like, I see this boss mentality and I see this attitude that you're bringing, which I really do respect and appreciate. But like, you know, a lot of other rappers have brought in the same type of attitude and thing, which I think is part of the point that this is like the rap game, this is timeless, this whole thing is timeless, which I thought was great. Then he comes back in with the chorus. Rest in peace, JB. I know she looking down, smiling. You know, rest in peace his aunt, his manager, of course. My condolences all the time. Michael, and then verse 2. Michael Jordan used to shoot 1,000 shots a day. Fuck Hoop and Booker trying to shoot 1,000 ops a day. They know I ain't about to play. Watch out when I cock the K. Speaking of hoops, I fuck hoes and I have them hooked like Dr. J. I mean, the verse for me flows really nicely, flows really well. Got 200,000 on me. Fuck it, that's the type of day. The bitch murked the baccarat. It made her feel some type of way. As we speak, me and Steph Curry got different type of players. Now, maybe he's chill with Steph Curry. I'm not sure, but that's what I heard in the verse. Billion streams on Spotify. It'll still jump out. I'll still jump out blowing if I spot an op. So like a lot of what he's saying is very consistent with the rest of the project and kind of just who he is and how he moves. But again, this whole song itself really is like timeless. And that's something that I did appreciate. I don't really have much else to say about this. The song is a 4.2 on 5. It's really good. I like the energy. I like the vibe through it. I like how he just flows through. And again, what's really, really impressive is just his way of just like speak rapping. Like he doesn't really care for being on beat because he is on beat. But the way he presents his lyrics is just like he's speaking. And it's just super, super dope. The next track is called Slime featuring Lil Keed. Okay, so Slime is another super, super cool song, but I just don't think it's my vibe overall. It's interesting because to me, what I'm understanding is that, you know, Tee Grizzley is really addressing and expressing his, I guess his respect for loyalty and just like his friendship and his family, right? So in the intro, Tee Grizzley goes, told that bitch I land at, she says, is you in LA? No, two groups of bitches. Okay, whatever. Then the chorus comes in, told that bitch I land at 3, I'm on Cali time, which is, told that bitch I land at 3, I'm on Cali time. She say, is you in LA? No, I'm in Anaheim. Two group of bitches mix them up like lemon lime. Cannon on my hip melt you like it's Dippin' Dots. That's my dog, that's my slime, that's my dog, that's my slime. Now, I don't know if he's talking about like his weapon and that's like really what the whole thing is about, but I also like to believe that it's about like his homies and how like he really looks at the idea of like friendship. But a lot of this song is still following that consistent flow of like braggadocious, kind of like real street mentality, just kind of like putting in that dedication to work and grind and get to where you want to be, right? While also being very lavish. Water on my wrist, tripping like a slip and slide. Doors on the whip, killed himself, they suicide, which I thought was super dope. Just suicide doors, they go up and, you know, kill yourself. That's my dog, that's my slime, that's my dog, that's my slime. Free that homie Melly, that's my dog, that's my slime. I don't know if that's YNW Melly, maybe, probably. But again, like he's really just addressing, you know, certain people that are like his friends, are part of his inner circle. That's my dog, that's my slime. Free that homie Marmar, that's my dog, that's my slime. So, you know, he's shouting out for the people who are maybe locked up and who need to be freed, and he thinks that they didn't do anything wrong. But, you know, I guess that's believable given like the environment and kind of where they come from. Everybody can justify exactly why they're doing X, Y, Z. So verse 1 comes in, Tee Grizzley. I just hit some shit in Oakland like a Curry jumper. Brody whipping up that whip 'em. He gonna hurt the oven. So clearly, you know, we got some like crack whipping up here because it says crack right there. My little homie chewing pills up, he gon' murk him something. Try to run up, he tap your back like he trying to make you burp or something. Wait back up for you get hurt or something. Your hoe missing, she with me, you thinking Amber Alert or something. I like how it's the punchlines, really the punchlines in this song are really just like, oh snap, like, hey, the bar play is really just dope. When the shots go off, let's see who do the run and let the lost the cops on Southfield hit Schoolcraft doing 100. Ask these homies where the money at, where they coins. Pool party in the A, we ain't inviting no boys. Like, it's just, he's kind of really just laying down the way he moves throughout his days and kind of just how he's living right now, which I thought was super, super dope. And I really like just that again, that flow and the presentation that he gives is so crazy. And there's a lot to pick from this. And what I like from Tee Grizzley is that there's everybody can find something in each of these songs, which is what I really do appreciate. They just pick certain things from these songs and you're like, yo, he really said that. Like, yo, that's actually fucking dope. And that's what I really like about Tee Grizzley. Like, he's just, his bar play and his line play is so dope. Then we get back into the chorus. Told that bitch I land at 3, I'm on Cali time. The chorus has actually got this nice bop. Told that bitch I land at 3, I'm on Cali time. She says, is you in LA? No, I'm in Anaheim. Like, I can't do it. I'm butchering it and I apologize. But it's like two groups of bitches mix them up like lemon lime. Like, it's just, it's got that, like, a little bit as I'm doing it, I'm kind of like, I feel like it's got that Gucci Mane lemonade flow a little bit, but I'm also probably reaching. But it's just so, like, it's so dope. It's so dope. Actually, you know, in part 1, he did quote, he did name drop Gucci, so I wouldn't be surprised if he followed him. Now, Lil Keed, don't like the voice. I like the flow. I like the presentation. That's my dog. That's my slime. I got slimes. They gon' ride. I know rappers. They gon' fall like a motherfucking pine. I got rap money, trap money. No, I getting mine. Got 200 round chopper. Hits the heat. It's the spine. I ain't tryna die young. I ain't talking Roddy Rich. I just went up pimp mode. Go to tennis like Michigan. Like, I like how he's flowing it, but I can't get past his voice. That's really just my thing. It's a personal preference, I would assume. But, like, other than that, Lil Keed did really, really dope. And, like, he really stood up to Tee Grizzley. Like, I was like, whoa, these two guys on the track were actually pretty dope. I didn't really like his voice. The chorus comes back in, then we got the post-chorus, water on my wrist, tripping like a slip and slide, and then we got, like, the outro. Overall, the song's pretty short. I mean, like, the rest of the songs are pretty much about 2 minutes. There should be, like, a 3-minute song coming up near the end. But, like, overall, the song itself is so dope. It's pretty cool, but it's more of just a vibe. It's not one of the ones I'd probably go straight to, but I do appreciate this a lot, and this is really giving me an insight to who Tee Grizzley is and just kind of how he deals with certain stuff, and I'm really loving this project. It's great. I gave this song a 4 on 5. It's still pretty dope. The next track is called Everything. The song Everything, okay, I'll just be honest, it's pretty short, so it's pretty straightforward. It's an easy listen. It's about like 1 minute and 40 something seconds. So I listened to it over and over again. And what I really, it's actually 1 minute 54. But what I really took from this track was just Tee Grizzley kind of took a second to really just go back on like this flex mode. I mean, I just bought the new Mercedes just to get from A to B. I did shit they can't believe, that's why they hate on me. Really from the streets, made a way to eat. Bitch, make way for me. I don't give a fuck what y'all be doing, just don't play with me. So a lot of this so far is what we've been getting, but it's cool because the beat is different, the flow is different, the presentation is different, and everything that just keeps coming with it is just always different. So I like how Tee Grizzley is always finding new ways to kind of just reinforce these ideas of like, yo, y'all really fuck with me, but you don't understand who I am. And he follows it up. In the club in the back, 30 in my hood, boy, this bitch sound like this bitch a fully boy. So he's kind of expressing like, yo, I've really got guns in here. I really got like things that are ready to go. Jacking off my pockets, trying to make this money come. That's funny. I was young, walking to the store just for just a honey bun. They going to the trap, seeing Unk that was on the run with 100 drum. Rest in peace. He was a one of one. Beating homies up for Lil Bro. You better not fuck with him. Granny took my BB gun. She ain't know I had another one. Walked to the dollar store and bought my little brother one. So it's like there's this idea of like protection, survival mentality that is really being shown here, and that's really what we get a lot from these songs, and it's crazy to think that Tee Grizzley, and I say this because he's somebody who's, again, right, he's my generation, he's my age. It's like, yo, you live such a chaotic life, or at least you've been through so much chaos. I feel bad more than anything. It's like I really feel bad that he has to kind of do all these things, and it's like he acknowledges, like, Granny took my BB gun away, probably because the grandmother wanted to, like, you know, teach him good things, teach him well-beings and stuff. But, like, at a certain point, he also understands, like, if he's gonna make it big, if he's gonna be successful, if he's gonna make money, he's got to do what he's got to do. And it's like a lot of this does stem from the conversations of, like, protecting the community, giving back into the community, you know, supporting the low income communities, like supporting the black community as well, like just the ghettos, the projects, all of that. Like, it really does spark up these conversations to really hear about it. Like, we ain't wanted to be known, we just wanted to be on. Thought the industry was full of real homies, I was wrong. They was trying to get the throne, I was trying to get the gold. We was chasing down our goals, they was chasing down the hoes. Homie, where they at? Homie's talking about reach back. If I reach back, you gonna get slapped. Like, he's not even, like, he doesn't have time to play. It's like he understands the value of his time. And that's a lot of what we've been getting. With a stack on your head, now you whack, got the Mac on my lap, fully of lead, rat-a-tat, talking to some young homies, juvenile, where they at, like, don't look up these homies, man, these homies full of cap. Like, he's really spitting real bars, and he's, in a way, he's kind of showing the younger generation, like, yo, really be careful with who you pick to be your idol. Really look at some of these people who claim to be XYZ, who claim to be doing XYZ. Like, really look for that authenticity. And I think that's everything he's trying to say in the song called Everything. Like, he's really just taking a moment to have, like, a flow of consciousness to really spit out and just go with what he has to say. And I thought that was super, super cool. I gave this a 4.215 for 1 minute and 54 seconds, something that was just straight off the bat. I thought that was amazing. I thought it was really, really great. The next track on this project, track 13, is called Double Standards. So Double Standards is a very interesting song. It's something that I've been, I guess, having conversations about for years now. The Double Standard song is about how Tee Grizzley is addressing that nobody's perfect. Men and women both have their faults, have their side pieces, have their other people that they talk to and stuff like that. And Tee Grizzley is kind of just acknowledging it in a sense of, like, there's certain roles that need to be played. So I'll go through it and I'll break it down as we go. So intro, I really don't even need to hear certain shit. Like, really, you ain't gotta say nothing. Just when you with me, just play your role. That's all I ask. Know what I'm saying? And I understand that. It's like, just play the role. If you claim to be XYZ, if you say to be XYZ, time will take its course. Things will fall into place properly. Like, I kind of feel like that's what he's addressing, and I do appreciate that. I really think that that's the truth. Like, there's so many labels, there's so many, you're my this, you're my that, you're this. It's like, yo, we're just people trying to figure it out. We have the rest of our lives to live, and just, you know, time will set its course, I believe, and you just fall into place with what, like, kind of just how it goes, right? So the chorus comes in, swear that's why I'm straight with hoes. I got feelings, I can't let these bitches play those. Fair enough, he's being emotional, he's being humble. He's like, yo, I've got feelings, I feel certain things. I can't let you deal with this. I can't let you do me like this. Ain't gotta tell me that you love me, just play your role. I know you got other homies just like I got other bitches, but do like me and text them later on. And I like how he's addressing that. Like, when he's with you, he prioritizes you. When he's not, he deals with his own stuff, and just has how people should be. So verse 1, caught a bad one, I call her Ruby with the booty. She ain't even know me, but she treat me like she knew me. Told me that she loved me, I believed her like a goofy. I can't put my heart on bitches' hands, that shit's spooky. Dear Ruby, sincerely yours from Grizzly. Fuck you and any other bitches that I think iffy. So you see that there's some type of, like, trauma, some type of PTSD, some type of issue, some type of things that he's carrying, some feelings that he's carrying that he doesn't want to get hurt again. I see you on the gram and you don't even feel guilty. I know I'm still living, but that shit, you did kill me. So that's something I've also been saying as well, is like this whole idea of Instagram and the idea of like Instagram famous and likes and this and that. It's like I do see how that plays a lot into relationships, and how some relationships, and I've had friends who've had relationships that have kind of ended because of that, because the attention and just the way that whole environment is really just puts a strain on my homies. I should have left you in the room like a thought. Ain't even hit you back. I got on top. It's like, hit you from the back. I got on top. It's like he's making that addressment, like, yo, I really tried to make love to you. I really, like, I got on top, and I really, like, looked at you and did all that. And you can really feel that pain from him. That's why I'm straight with hoes. I got feelings. I can't let these bitches play those. And I ain't gotta tell you that you ain't gotta tell me that you love me. Just play your role. I know you got other homies just like I got other bitches, but do like me and text them later on. So it's like, again, it's the idea of like, yo, do your shit and I'll do mine, and everything should be just totally fine. I think that's really what he's saying. Verse 2, diamonds clear, days cloudy, heart so chilly, Gucci jacket in LA cause it get windy. I know I cheat, but when you cheat, that shit just different. I'ma let you go your way cause beating bitches just ain't in me. So like, I understand that, and I can understand that. I myself, I've made mistakes as a young one in the past. I've done some stupid shit. I've been cheated on. I've also cheated on certain women. I've grown up. I've matured. I've said this many times on the podcast. I'm different. My woman that I'm with now is absolutely the best thing that's ever happened to me, and she keeps me straight and keeps me stable. So that's pretty much just how I roll now. But I do understand this like idea of like being selfish, being like, and I'm not saying Tee Grizzley's selfish. I'm just saying like the idea of like, you know, he acknowledges to cheating. I know I cheat, but when you cheat, that shit hits different. And it's like he's acknowledging these double standards. He's acknowledging the double standards within himself, within other people, because I've played that role. I've said that to people. I've also been told that. So I understand. It's a very kind of complicated situation to deal with when you're dealing with emotions and feelings, and I think that's why Tee Grizzley doesn't really try to do that as much. He really just sets on this like boss mentality. And being loyal just ain't in you. I understand though. I'ma jump on my IG, see what your friends on, get a bottle, catch a vibe with them bitches. Cause they ain't real and you ain't real either. That's why you be with them. So he's just addressing like everybody's fake and like everybody just kind of acts a certain way. Then we get the chorus. Then we get back into verse 3. I'm straight on bitches. I can't let them play, even though I play with bitches. But I'm a homie. It's expected. I got everything you need, and you don't get neglected. Look, I don't really think that is fair. I don't think you should subject yourself to being like, yo, I'm a word I can't say, so it's expected for me to act like this, or like I'm a dude, so it's expected. Like, I that's my only personal opinion, just because like I can't be hypocritical. I used to do it in the past. I was stupid. I was young. I get that. Again, having a conversation with, you know, if I were to have a conversation with Tee Grizzley, I would ask him, be like, yo, do you really think like that now? Like, kind of how do you move like this? Just to kind of understand more, because I do think I do understand. Like, I get what he's saying. Got everything you need and you don't get neglected. Look, yeah, I'm that dude too. I got everything people need. I don't neglect people. Homies supposed to have hoes. Bitches supposed to have one homie. Don't love them other bitches. I'm just having fun with them. There's different between main bitches and side bitches. I mean, I can understand that mentality, but at the same time, I'm also kind of sitting here going, really? Like, you're really going to try to pass that off as, like, a common way? Like, people don't really believe in that. Like, if you're with somebody and you tell somebody you love them and you're, like, going to marry them and shit, if that's your idea, that's kind of the whole purpose, is to be with that one person. If y'all have like some open book or whatever, that's your forte, fine. But like at the end of the day, I mean, the idea is to be with that one person, no? So when you catch me up, I'm chilling for a week. Yeah, I'm whole free. After that, I'm back on bullshit. Yeah, you know me, been trying to do the same shit I do. That's just OD. And it's like, okay, I get it. Maybe you're touring. Maybe you're kind of moving around. So there's a lot to kind of get from this. But like, I can't help but think that like, he's really just kind of sitting here trying to just express the double standards of like, yo, this is the way it should be. We should be able to do this, and I don't think you should be able to do this, which I don't completely agree with. But like, hey, if I got a free pass and was able to do what I wanted, I wouldn't hate either. So like, to each his own. I gave this song a 4.2 on 5. I thought it was actually really, really great. The next song is called Daylight. On Daylight, we take a kind of dip into a more mellow, jazzier, piano-filled beat, which I really enjoyed. A lot of the high energy was really, really dope, but I like when the artist can switch down to something different, so that was super cool. Even the flow that Tee Grizzley is giving is even a little bit more slowed down and a little bit more precious, I want to say. Like, it just kind of it adds to the messaging of the song, where the song's about, again, loyalty and just how Tee Grizzley's got his homie who will do stuff for him in the daylight. They don't have to run at night. Hey, me and my brody, we gonna stay tight. He'll do some shit for me in the daylight, make sure his name good, make sure his face right, make sure his people straight, make sure they pay right. So you kind of see that idea of like, yo, he's really looking out for his community. He's really looking out for the people that he respects and really, you know, sticks around. And then we float through verse 1. Black cards, gold cards, duffel bag made by Goyard. Can't get shit from blank, bitch. He a shark, he ain't no loan shark. No crib, new crib got cameras, motion detectors, and sonar. Boy, you get off your back, you can't control that. Now, I'm seeing some paranoia. I'm seeing like, but it's not like he doesn't have the right to be paranoid. Of course, just the way he's been living and the way he's kind of, I guess, grown up in his past. Like, he's got the right to feel like protected, and people might be coming at him, and especially with, you know, the gun violence and the whole drive-by shooting with his aunt and his manager. Like, it makes sense. Talking to the universe, I'm solar, I can't go nowhere without my blower. She sucked me up from time to time, but I don't know her. In the club with 100, kept it low-key. Young as a student, but living like the dean. So I like how he's, you know, young. I would say 25, 26, I don't really know. 25 if he's a year younger than me. But living like the dean, he's in school, you know, he's kind of looking like the student. He's still trying to grow and trying to move around and do what he's got to do, but at the same time, he's also, you know, acting like a boss, the dean of the school, really running shit, which I thought was super interesting, and I thought that was cool how he kind of made that connection. Yeah, let me know that shit pack a let him know that shit pack a punch. Before school, I took my gun, I ain't never pack a lunch. Seen my enemies in prison, made him pack it up. Go talk to the guard, homie, get off the yard, homie. So like, I like how he's really got this mentality of nobody can really fuck with him, and that his only real tool is his gun. And it's not like I'm trying to condone gun violence, but I do think that it's another conversation that he's bringing where he's like, yo, like, this is what I lived through. This is the people are out to get me. There's like, anything could really happen. The mentality in this world is really fucked up, and I do really appreciate that. Then we get back into the chorus. Hey, me and my brody, we gonna stay tight. He'll do some shit for me in the daylight, make sure his name good, make sure his face right, make sure his people straight, make sure they pray right. We come from making sure ain't no cameras around. Buy a mansion now. We come from hand-me-downs, kind of from like where we were to where we are now. A lot of that, which is super real, and just you can hear the authentic, you can hear the rawness and the struggle in his voice, which is absolutely insane. Again, following that like slow pace flow that is coming with the track. It's like he's talking to you instead of real rapping. And I know that I keep saying that like he's got this talkity speed talk rappy style, but like this is legitimately like, no, he's talking to you. Like, he's actually just talking and explaining what's going on. Can't just be a big homie, gotta be the big smooth homie. I can't take a bitch that use homies. Show her some money, don't give her nothing, she gonna be cool with it. That's the old school Chevy music, that's that 2020 Caddy music, that's that white mansion fucker, like that scene off of Belly music. Yeah, I can see that. The song, the way that he's presenting this, the way that he's really making it, like I could feel what he's saying. Rich homie jumping out to Benz, bust down Pepsi music, black cards, gold cards, duffel bag, and he kind of just restates the beginning of the first verse, which I thought was super cool. At least he restates the chorus, which I thought was super cool. And the song itself really does kind of encapsulate together this idea of like, yo, we looking out together, and we looking out for each other, and we really in this together, and it was super, super dope. So I gave this track a 4.3 on 5. The next track is called Winning. So it's really interesting how following up the last track, we got this track Winning, and it's like, because he's shown you the amount of loyalty and dedication that he's going to be putting into, you know, winning and being successful with his homies and his community and all that stuff, it's like this song really just defines the idea of winning. It's pretty straightforward. There isn't actually really much to say. He repeats, hey, winning, 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 winning. You from the trenches, you live in, you winning. You wake up and go get it, you winning. You trying to double your digits, you winning. You put a hot sauce on your chicken, you winning. So I like how he's like giving you that motivation, and he's giving you that inspiration to keep going, keep grinding. And I really like this song because it's like workout music. It's like grind music. I'm from the trenches, I made it. That's crazy. It was so dangerous, but I wasn't scared and I wasn't hating. I was just dreaming. Glock with the laser tax on the bag, you know we gon' take it. Then link with the bros in grandma's basement. See what we made. And he played with us. Next time you see, he gon' be at his grave. Like, again, it's a lot of grind music, and unless you really come from this life, you can't really relate. But I can relate in the sense of just grinding and putting in that work, and a lot of this is really just understanding that like Tee Grizzley can only explain to you what he had to do to survive and what he had to do to make money and gain that success. But like when you really think about it, if you really listen to what he's saying and the way he's presenting it and the way that he's just encapsulating that energy and that like dedication and that commitment to wanting to move forward, anybody can really relate to this. I'm so surprised that I'm still alive. I gotta thank God, because I was outside and bullets was flying and I ain't getting hit. That's how I know that I'm winning. I mean, look, I'm not saying that I live in an area where bullets are flying, but the idea is like if I was like a battle rapper or something, you know, I could take bullets as like lyrical bullets, and like, you know, they're going out there and I'm outside and I'm trying to dodge all these things and I'm trying to make it through. Or, you know, my job and bullets in terms of like people taking shots at me on my job, and I'm trying not to let me get up that business ladder or whatnot. So the corporate ladder. So you really got to like look at kind of how he's saying things and take it and try to add it to your life a little bit to kind of understand where he's coming from. And that's really what I like about this song. Winning, that mentality of just keep going and winning, and you from the trenches, you live in, you winning. Now again, not everybody's from the trenches, but that could also be interpreted what you think is the trenches to yourself. You wake up and go get it, you winning. I was up at 6:30 doing this, and it's now 10:25 as I'm recording. Like, yeah, I feel like I don't feel like I'm winning, but being told that like, yo, you get up, you get dedicated, you do your stuff, feels like you're winning. And I really did appreciate that. That was crazy. You put the hot sauce on your chicken, you winning. I put hot sauce on everything, so I guess I'm always winning. I mean, I like that. I'm always winning. I like that. But yeah, it just flows really nicely, and just the energy, and it's like bopping. You need some trees, let me tell Blanco. He send that shit to your mailbox. I'm eating chicken, don't fuck with Tabasco. You know that I only eat Red Hot Franks. Free all my boys out them cell blocks. They coming home causing hell, God. Get my boy right for a bando. Run up on me. He's a dead guy. Bro called, said he need an M. I'm like, bro, you ain't never had a 10. But you, my brother, I got you we way beyond locked in. So you can see that like he's really out there to support people and really give people, you know, that ability to succeed and move forward in the means that they have. I really like this. I really like the aspect of grinding and that mentality that he has, just trying to move forward and keep that dedication to work. It was great. This was absolute banger. I gave this track a 4.5 on 5. I thought this was crazy. Like, absolute banger. Very straightforward, very direct, but absolute banger. The next song is called Satish or Satish. I don't know how to properly do justice to this song. It is an amazing track. Tee Grizzley really goes down in detail and kind of breaks down how he feels with the loss of his aunt. Kind of giving you this story a little bit about what happened. It's just an amazing track. The music video also really kind of shows you just how he's coping with things. I like how Tee Grizzley really switches between this like angry aggressive rapping to this emotional soft singing, and it really just shows the diversity in this track. It really just shows, you know, the talent, ability. The intro, loved each other way more than we love life, was so close people thought we had a love life. We loved each other way more than we love life. Like, it's just, you can hear it in his voice, you can hear it like just the way that he is presenting and just the way that he's just so broken. I used to be like, I don't need security, street homies. I don't want these homies thinking that it's fear in me. Told my driver be on point, he wasn't hearing me. Those shots went off, I'm steady calling, you ain't answering, you scaring me. Hello? In my city, if you winning, you can't stay. They call being broke real, they call getting money fake, which is so interesting. Like, just that mentality is so interesting and very toxic, actually. But the fact that when you're making money, you can't stay in that city because people are jealous, people may be envious, maybe want to rob you. Like, he's really looking out at that. I gave you a bitch while you still looking at my date. I gave you some food while you still looking at my plate. They say that they love us, but their love might be hate. I can't really tell the difference. Salt and sugar look the same. Like, it's absolutely insane. I don't want to go through the whole verse because I want, like, you guys to really enjoy this without me butchering it or breaking it. But just the way that, like, he really goes through like this emotional roller coaster of up and downs, and just the way that he's kind of expressing how he's dealing with the loss of his aunt is absolutely insane. I like in there's a part where he actually asked to, like, yo, let me grieve in peace, let me deal with my issues by myself, let me have to, you know, let me do what I have to do to get over this situation. I like the determination when he says, give a fuck if it's the mayor, homie, millions on his head. So, like, he's kind of saying, like, it doesn't really matter who you are or what your title is. If you fuck with me or my family, like, I'm coming for you, I'm coming for your life. And that's like a street mentality, and that's not even street mentality, that's just a mentality I feel like for everybody that is really just respecting loyalty and just the relationship, the bond between family is just like, definitely in these hard streets and these hard times, like, yeah, this is something that is the most important right now, as I believe, and this is what I think Tee Grizzley is saying. He's also sending out a warning going, yo, if I'll find you, if I figure this out, we are going to have problems, and I am going to take your life. Like, he's giving a warning to people, like, he's been through a lot, and you can really feel it. This song's amazing. I gave it a 4.7 on 5. I thought it was absolutely great. Just the presentation of it, the authenticity, the uniqueness, and the way that the diversity and the way that he presents a lot of the things is just absolutely great. But I really, if I could ask if you guys can just listen to it and let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this song, how you guys interpreted it or whatnot. I really don't want to, like, go through it because my opinions of it is that really it's just amazing. My commentary is that it's amazing. It's fully wrapped properly. He really just goes in and gives you his all. It's like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. How I'm playing with these drums, homies know I'm like Take Keith, eyes bloodshot red, homies know I ain't been sleeping, but all these days, these dead loved ones make it hard to sleep. All these anger inside me make it hard to grieve. All this nicotine make it hard to breathe. Like, you can really just hear him wheezing and really just losing that energy. It's insane. 4.7 on 5. The final track of the album and the final track of part 2 is called Mr. Officer. So in light of everything that's going on, the Black Lives Matter movement, the oppression, the police brutality, the riots and everything, this song really is that's really what it's about. Even the title, Mr. Officer, you kind of get this idea of like, yo, he's really going to be just trying to bring light to the situation. So we start off with Queen Najia, which I thought was beautiful voice. Mr. Officer, you're killing us. Mr. Officer, what if that was my brother? What if that was my dad? What if that was my uncle? What if that was all I had? Now, really just listening to that, you're like, they're really trying to show people like, yo, we are really losing a lot of people day by day by day by day. And just that pain and just that reaching out is really what they're trying to do. Then they, Mr. Officer, what if that was my brother? What if that was my dad? And then Tee Grizzley comes in on the verse. Y'all supposed to be the heroes, though. You know, protect and serve. Y'all taking us from the earth. I see the police and I say fuck it and it fucks with my nerves. They pulling me over. I'm showing them both of my hands and watching my words. I got insurance, no warrants. He pointing his gun like he want to blow it. Tell me why we gotta die. He went for his wallet, reached for a gun. You think that's some shit he'd try on a cop? He can't breathe and you still choking him, man. Why would he lie? Your knees on his neck. You ain't got to do all that. It's 1 against 5. R.I.P. So he's really talking about the George Floyd incident and really trying to bring like light to the situation and just expressing his views on police brutality. Then we get back into the chorus. Mr. Officer, you're killing us. What if that was my uncle? What if that was my dad? What if that was my brother? What if that was all I had? And it's just, I like what they're doing here. It's absolutely great. Like, just, I find like Tee Grizzley is taking the time to really take a moment to inform all of his fans on what are happening. They put the badge on and they feel like they're better than us. Right now it seems like their job is to make it tragic for us. Crazy part about it is it only happens to us. They brought us here against our will. Now they ain't happy with us. I mean, yeah, dude, if you want to talk about slave trade and you want to talk about like all that, like, that's fucked up. That's some really fucked up mentalities that they're dealing with. That's crazy. Now they talking about being cool. No, let people do what they do. I see a lot of people not saying nothing. Like, what if that shit was you? What if that was your brother, your dad, your son, or all you had? Which is pretty much the point, is that we're all human. And what if that is your brother, your uncle, your this? And really, I like what they're doing here. And this is just super amazing. And it's a great way to wrap up the whole project. I thought that it was super great. I gave this a 4.5 on 5. I thought it was great. It wasn't as strong as the last track, because the last track had more like authenticity and really like, you could feel the roller coaster. But this was beautiful, like as an anthemic feel, an anthemic, like if people were protesting and playing this, I could see that. That is beautiful. And that pretty much wraps up the whole 2-part review. Overall, I did give this album a 4.25 on 5. I thought it was absolutely great. Like, Tee Grizzley really impressed me with the flows, the topic of conversations, the way he presents it, just the way he does things. It was so different, so refreshing, and I really appreciated it. This album is really, really good. I think everybody should be listening to this project, and really, I want to go check out more of Tee Grizzley. He is so inspiring, and I think most of the fact is I think the biggest fact is that he's my age. And to hear somebody my age really going through a lot of this shit is just crazy. Just the way that he expressed it is just absolutely crazy. I really did enjoy it. It was a really great album. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And hopefully there is more projects to come that I can have a great time reviewing. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for watching both videos. If you have and you've been following me on this journey, I greatly appreciate it. As you can see, it's getting really hot now. I need to go sit in front of the air conditioner really quickly. But with that, I want to say thank you so much to the Patreons: Ismail Gadamsi, Lindo Williams, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Scribble, and Carl J. Greatly appreciate everything you guys do for us. They follow us on Patreon. They have a hand in what projects we are forced to kind of review and look at. So definitely, if you want to get that done, follow us on Patreon and let us know what you want us to review. If not, definitely hit me up on Twitter right there. You can definitely hit me up on Twitter. Let me know if there's anything you want me to review, or just have a nice, clean discussion. That's totally fine with me.
Other than that, the album is great. 4.2, 4.25 on 5. I hope everybody's doing well. I am dying here. Have yourself a wonderful day, and thank you.